We all know that every point counts in figure skating, and that was no truer than today. Inside Honda Center in Anaheim, California, the Four Continents Championships, and there's are your pairs champions right there. Sui and Han coming through, winning by .06 over Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro, and that is some tears of joy there from Sui Wenjing. It's been a tough year. It's been a long road for the Olympic silver medalists, and they are Four Continents Championships winners. That was a big win today in the pairs free skate for them, coming back after the short program. Hey everyone, here Nick McCarville on the Bridgestone Ice Desk, joined by Sinead Kerr, by Ashley Wagner, and by Brooke Castile. Brooke, that was a dramatic free skate. We always expect it in the pairs, but gosh, we got it today. Yeah, we got a little bit more drama. After Nationals, I thought maybe everyone got their lifts out of the way, and once again, a lift made the difference in pairs. It's not just about the jumps, which is actually nice to see that, you know what, you do also have to be able to do lifts, twist, all these different pair elements. It's not always just about those side-by-sides. I want to welcome everyone watching on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter, and also welcome to all of you watching here in Anaheim. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, you can use that comment button right below on social media. Let us know your thoughts. I was talking about, it was just a game of inches today, centimeters. Let's go ahead and check out the standings from the pairs free skate, and it's Sui and Han there that just eke out. Look at that final score, .06 over Moore-Towers Marinaro. The bronze medal goes to Pang and Jin, and then you can see Ashley Kane and Timothy Leduc. They sort of validate their win at the U.S. Championships with a fourth place finish here before the World Championships. Let's go ahead and dive right into our highlights. First off, for Sui and Han, the fact that they were behind after that short program, they come in maybe with something to prove today, but they are obviously former World Championships winners in the past. And Ashley Wagner, this was a beautiful program. One mistake from her, a fall on the triple Salchow, but otherwise, wow.
Honestly, this program created such a feeling in this arena. Watching it live, I am obsessed with it. We were all talking, it looks like it still does have some mileage that needs to be put into it. It looks fairly new to them. They don't look completely comfortable, but you can see where it's going, and I love this program. It's so intricate, and they connect with each other so well. Everything in and out, the transitions, I love it. It's one of my favorite pairs programs. And then that really hard fall on the side-by-side.
Yeah, that was a hard fall, but they recovered well from that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is even though she had that really hard fall and there isn't a lot of mileage on this program yet, they gave 110% on every ounce of choreography. And this is maybe, is this the ending? Yeah, look at the effort and the passion that they put into that. Yeah, and I think that was really the difference maker. I mean, I know those points were very close, but that was the big difference maker. This program was outstanding, really well choreographed, and really well performed. They really, like, the performance of it was outstanding.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, like, following on from what you guys just said, I feel like I got emotionally invested in this performance. It was a very emotional skate, and yes. Ashley and I were talking, they almost seemed like ice dancers out there, the way they were skating to the music, the transitions in and out of the elements. It wasn't just a program of pair elements, it was a very well-rounded program, very well put together, and it was just beautiful to watch.
And the road back for them, for Sui, because of the fact that she's had that injury, the stress fracture that you've talked about. I mean, this wasn't just coming off of last season. They hadn't done this free skate in competition this season.
No, they haven't, and that's so tough, and you could see it in the warm-up. She looked very nervous. She was missing a lot in the warm-up.
She did.
A bad warm-up.
And that just shows how good they really are, that she was able to pull off such a great long, because even the throws, look at how she held on to that throw triple flip so late in the program and on an injured foot. That's so hard to do, and she's just so determined to do it, and I think that's why we saw tears, was relief and proud of herself. And it's a long road coming back from injury, and it's emotional. It's not just physical. It's very mentally difficult to deal with an injury, and you feel bad for your partner when you're hurt and they're not, and you feel like you're holding them back. And I think all of that just came to her, and that's why we saw those tears.
And actually, it shows too sort of the mental fortitude that they both had, but especially that she's had, the fact that they did have that fall yesterday, and then they fought through that, and just the confidence in each other to see themselves through and come through as champions here.
Well, they're in a really unique position. I think that in the years past, they've really dominated the international scene, and then for them to be coming into this event not really feeling so sure of themselves, not feeling completely prepared, and not feeling 100% all there where they need to be, that's so intimidating for athletes who are just used to being on top. So I think for them, those tears of relief, that's for sure what we saw. It was probably just such a big to be on top of that podium where they're so comfortable being.
Yeah, certainly. So Sui and Han are your pairs champions here at 4 continents. Let's go ahead and take a look at the silver medalists here, Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro. They had the lead after the short program, Shanae, and this just felt overall like they were a little bit tight throughout.
Well, first of all, I have to say hats off to them skating last after the performance of Sui and Han and skating clean, which for them, I think, has not been always easy to do. They've been an inconsistent pair over the last few years. So putting out a clean performance here should be a massive confidence boost for them. However, you can see it here, the tightness on that lift. They're not there yet. I mean, like I said, confidence leading into Worlds, great performance here, but there's still some making up to do when it comes to the quality of a Sui and Han. But they weren't that far behind, so I mean, I'd be interested to hear Brooke's take on that lift. I mean, it looked to me extremely hard, but I mean, just fantastic. One thing I would say with this team compared to Sui and Han is the transitions in between just weren't as difficult. There didn't seem to be as much choreography going on in between. So the Sui and Han, while they made a mistake, their program was more difficult. So the component marks would have been a lot higher.
Kirsten made that face in the lift, which we saw in the highlights there. You can see her kind of nodding after, like, we got through it, as Shanae's saying. But that sort of, to me, was the descriptor, or sort of their free skate in general, just kind of that, because that's how it felt out there.
Yeah, and you know what, kudos to them for holding on to everything, you know, and not having, I mean, the messing up that lift was a big mistake, but it could have been a lot worse. It went up, they still got points for the lift because it did go up and it stayed up. Obviously, it's not the maximum points and the GOE isn't maxed out, but that's experience right there. Being able to take that lift up and hold on to it, and for her to know what to do up there, she did exactly what you're taught to do.
There it is.
Like that, she could have gone backwards onto her head so easily. She was completely off balance. And instead of freaking out, she did what you're supposed to do, which is just stay up there for your partner. The girl's job is not to try to do too much, but just be strong and let your partner handle it, and that's exactly what she did. And I just love at the end how she was like, they just like patted each other like, hey, good job, we got through it, you know, instead of getting mad at each other, being like, what happened on that lift?
Yeah,
they know that's not them.
Yes, for sure. And just for her to see that through, for both of them to see it through, because as you point out, Shanae, it was a clean program, but as you point out too, there was some scratchiness, Ashley, and they fought through it.
They did a great job today at keeping it together. I do think, just as a spectator, when I watch elite level pairs, I want to just be able to relax and watch the lifts. It did get really scary today for me watching those lifts. I want to just be able to kind of sit back and be like, all right, they've got it. But I mean, also, I don't go over anyone's head, so who am I to say what a lift should and shouldn't be? My one complaint about that program is that it feels to me like they rely so much on the music. And I mean, we were talking about this earlier. It just feels a little empty to me. And then going back to back with Sui and Han, you really saw just how much they were lacking in difficult transitions. And that was what really stood out to me. But at the end of the day, they came here, they kept it together when everything was just a little bit tight. And so that was really impressive.
And how much confidence do you think, Shanae, they take from just this performance overall into the World Championships in a few weeks?
I mean, I think they could take a lot of confidence from it. I mean, like we saw, they skated clean. There was a couple of scratchy errors, but for them, after not the best of seasons so far, I think that this performance, I feel they will be very happy with. And I think there's obviously a few things they'll go back home and work on, and they have time for that and lead up to Worlds. But I think they will definitely have that confidence leading into the World Championships.
It was a brave performance today for Moore-Towers and for Marinaro. We have a brave, intrepid reporter. Michael Weiss is out among the fans here. Michael, who you got?
Yes, I'm out here among the skating fans who just watched the show, and I'm here with a very big pair skating fan. What is your name, sir?
Ted Richards.
Ted, do you have a question for this panel of experts?
Well, I was just wondering, in their expert opinion, what they thought of the judging tonight. It was so close. Why does that happen? Why does it get that close?
Oh, Brooke Castile.
Put me on the hot seat.
Yeah, that was Ted. Ted, by the way. Ted, you
Ted
look very
Richard, thank
familiar.
you.
Just going to say, Ted looks very familiar.
Well, for me, it was a very different skates from both people. I think it was the program content as far as choreography is concerned. I feel like Sui and Han also are Olympic silver medalists, and that's always going to kind of give you a boost when it's close. And I think it's the program. I thought their program was so much more well suited for them, and the component mark really is probably, I didn't get a chance, we were on so quick to look at the difference, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the component score.
Point well made. So interesting there to hear your perspective on that. Thank you, Ted, for that question. And Michael Weiss, gosh, you're brave among the people. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bronze medal performance from Pang and Jin. They've been consistent all season, Brooke, and they were consistent here at Four Continents.
Yeah, and you know what, that's what's nice. They're very reliable, they're very good. They're not the most exciting team, that's for sure, but you know what, they came in and they did their job and they're on the podium, and I think that's who they are. They're reliable and they're solid.
Yeah, I mean, following on from that, Brooke, I think if I'm comparing them just with Sui and Han, like I said earlier, I was emotionally invested in Sui and Han's performance, and this performance, I found my attention wandered just slightly. Obviously, they're very technically good, but I feel like there's a lot to go with when it comes to the connection between them as a pair, those extra little things that make you a top-class pair team as opposed to just a pair team.
I do feel like they have it in them, though, to be more than just a reliable team. I do feel like they have a lot of style and spunk behind them, and they just need to be packaged in that way, and that needs to be brought out of them, or they need to be allowed to use that.
I so
Do you agree with
I agree. Well, because
he's got a sweet haircut.
I mean, yeah, based on his haircut, you're right.
All the Chinese kind of do. Like girls' haircut too.
Trendy.
But I mean, I agree. I don't think that they're packaged in a way that is smart. I don't think they're packaged in a way that really highlights what they have to offer. That short program of theirs is just a little bit confusing.
Hold on just a second. We're just having a little technical issue with that extra microphone. Our intrepid reporter out there and about. That's all right. It is interesting to see the way that they've packaged, or that they're continuing to improve that packaging,
their
because
elements
last
are
season
so good.
they didn't even make the free skate at the Olympics last season.
Wow.
No, I'm just
Really?
saying that's the improvement.
That's shocking to me. I mean, the improvement's insane. I think they're really good,
where the
actually.
wow came
Yeah,
from.
exactly.
That's so impressive what they've put out so far then.
I think they have a lot to offer, and there's a lot of potential. And I'm curious to see over the next 4 years, especially with the Olympics being in Beijing, how they package this team and how they put them out there, because I think they do have a lot to offer. And I really like their matchup. They were previously they switched around with partners, and I really like their match. And I think in pairs, that's such a huge deal. Making sure you're with the right partner, not only physically, but the way you train, your mental, how you approach skating in general. And I think they're a great match. So I think they could go pretty far. I think they have a lot of potential.
Okay, you mentioned Beijing 2022. That's going to be very interesting for the Americans. Who's going to end up in Beijing? We had 3 national championship teams skating here this weekend, and the current national champions, Ashley Kane and Timothy Leduc, they were the ones that ended up on top as far as these 3 American teams go. And Ashley Wagner, this was a strong performance from them. Not a perfect performance, but they've got to be proud with this.
Well, I mean, the only real mistake that we saw, she popped the side-by-side jump, and you could tell at the end she was really frustrated with herself, but all of their elements overall, they were pretty solid. I wouldn't say that they were spectacular. They can definitely keep on continuing to build, but this is a team that we have seen really grow over the past few seasons. So I think for them, establishing themselves as the U.S.'s top pair team, this was a huge accomplishment for them. They came into this event and they did have a lot to lose with a couple other really strong U.S. teams here. So the fact that they're able to come out on top is a huge deal for them.
A question coming through on Twitter is, Brooke, what can they do? And we see here them finishing up this free skate. They were very happy with this performance. What can they do to just grab those extra points? Just feel like they can be one of those teams internationally that can be on the podium at these ISU events.
Stay together. Time. It just takes time. They need to keep doing what they're doing this season, year after year after year. That stuff comes with time. That's it. It really is. Keep doing the same thing. They're on the right track, and they just need, I mean, just the improvement they've made from last year to this year, I feel like they're a completely different team. So just imagine if they keep continuing that, where they can go. And don't get hurt. Pairs is dangerous.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of people get injured.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so bringing on Nina Moser to their team, how much of an advantage do you think that gives them over the other U.S. pair teams? I mean, because she's like pair skating royalty as far as coaching goes. So how does that help them out?
It certainly helps. I mean, just getting perspective from a coach from a completely different environment than you're used to always helps a lot. And the Russians are the best at pairs. And I had a Russian coach, and when I switched to a Russian coach, that's the year I won nationals. So it makes all the difference in the world. And I think keep learning from them. Keep your team with her parents or her coach, which is great. So she has that balance of what's comfortable and what's going to push them a little further. And I think that that's a great move for them. And to keep that balance is really smart.
Actually, I have a question for Brooke as well. I know,
Everyone's asking Brooke
know,
questions. Perfect.
No, I was just thinking because, and I know this has been spoken about a bunch before with the fact that Ashley's a taller girl, and it looks beautiful when they do some of their lifts. It looks different and it looks great because she is so long. Do you think that that is a hindrance to make them one of the top teams, or is that something that they can overcome when it comes to, say, for example, the lift? Are they ever going to be able to do the lifts that the likes of Sui and Han can do?
Well, I think the French are a good example of this. They have a little bit of a different look as far as their body types are concerned, and I think they've packaged themselves the right way to make themselves unique and different and push pair skating, and I love that about them. And I think Ashley and Tim can do the same thing, and I think they've done it this year. And I think, you know, before when I used to watch them, that was something that it was hard for me to get past. And now this year, I don't notice the height.
It's like you've taken it and owned it a little bit, right?
I don't notice it as much. You always want to build off your strengths, not try to fix your weaknesses. That obviously you have to do that, but you want to
like everyone else.
You want to
make
build
yourself
off your
different.
strengths first, then also eliminate weaknesses. But you don't want to lose what makes you you.
Yeah, certainly. And so far, so good, at least in this season. Let's go ahead and pull up those standings again, but you can see Kane and Leduc finishing in 4th place overall. And then there's the 3 American teams, one right after each other. Haven Denny and Brandon Fraser finishing in 5th place. Tara Kane and Danny O'Shea. They had a disappointing day, especially for Tara Kane. But Denny and Fraser, Brooke, they were really strong today. They had to skate first.
Yeah,
That's
they
tough.
did, and you know what?
Excuse me,
They were second
in the first group.
But that's, I mean, being in the first group never feels great. Your goal is always to be in the last warm-up, and for pairs, one of the things that's harder is there's only 4 teams in the last group. Singles, there's 6, dance, there's 5, so there's not a lot of room to get in there, and so for them to be in the first group, that's tough. But they were actually the highlight for me today. They were at nationals as well. I absolutely love their long program. I think it's phenomenal. And I think that they overall had some of the best pair elements of the event. Obviously, side-by-sides are always going to be a thing. It's one of the elements, but it's only one of 6 different types of elements that you have to do in pairs. And their throws were the best of the day. Hands down, no question.
Wow, that's interesting to hear, especially because they don't land on the podium. But Ashley, curious from you, especially because that's essentially their last program, their last competition of the season.
Yes.
They'll take confidence from that free skate. When you finish anything well, you feel confident coming off of it. And then what will they look to do into the next season?
Yeah, I mean, they have to be feeling pretty great with that. I just think the one thing, because I've been watching them for years, it gets so frustrating watching them consistently make mistakes on the side-by-side jumps, because that's holding them back, and that holds a lot of our teams back from being elite level teams. And so I'm curious what you think. Why do we see pair teams struggle so much on the side-by-side jumps, but then you see these, like, the word I want to say I can't say on air, but like really tough women go out and do these massive throws and nail them? What makes the difference?
Pairs is pretty hard.
It's very,
That's the simple
okay,
answer.
actually, our friend John Baldwin made this point earlier because
Ted.
him and Rena Inouye were both single skaters, successful single skaters before they did pairs. Rena went to the Olympics in singles.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then did pairs after. And, it's one thing to do it alone, and then, you have a good night tonight, maybe tomorrow, good short, and then a bad long, like we
Right.
saw with our ladies here. But what if you flip-flop with your partner? What if the guy has a great long and the girl has a great short, but not together?
This is why I didn't
It's a
bring anyone else into the equation.
It's sometimes, he said to me, it's a miracle. Pairs is a miracle. To get 2 people to have a good night on the same day, or on the same night is very difficult. And then training, it's the same way. You don't feel the same as your partner every day. And then also, most of these skaters, they can do these jumps.
Yeah.
Especially alone. When you do a jump side by side, it's a lot harder than it is or by yourself. It just is. Patterns affected speed. You can't make adjustments the way you would normally do, and it's very difficult. But it's it is an element, and they have to figure it out if they want to be successful.
And we saw the way that Sui and Han figured it out today to win 4 continents. I want to ask my panel of your favorite moment so far in pairs, or excuse me, now that we've wrapped up the pairs, favorite moment from the competition. But Anaheim, are we having a good time? Have you guys enjoyed the skating? Got a great crowd in here. It's been awesome, and thanks to all of you for commenting on Facebook and on Twitter. We've worked our way into a lot of your questions in this conversation. Brooke Castile, can I start with you?
I'm still thinking about her question, and now I have like so many more answers to why pairs is so difficult.
Maybe we need to do an ice desk after dark.
Pairs 101. My favorite moment, I think, was seeing Sui and Han back on the ice and her tears on the podium. To see that was really pretty
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, totally.
Sui and Han, I loved that performance. I was into every single second of it. I want to go watch it again. I am absolutely obsessed with it.
I'll say something different, but I do agree with you guys as well. I'll say Kanan LeDuc's long program. I thought that it was great. I thought that it was... I don't want to say they redeemed themselves from yesterday because they skated well yesterday, but she seemed annoyed yesterday with the score they got, or they seemed not happy with the score they got. And it seemed like today they came out and they were super determined that they were going to not make any errors. Like they just had this look of fierceness, and I just really enjoyed their program tonight.
I just want to bounce off of what you said with pairs working together and longevity, and Ashley and Tim skating together, because you and your brother skated together for so long, and obviously you have that extra bond. But the fact that these teams, especially for the American teams, you've got to stick together to then climb those international ranks.
Yeah, you develop and you bond together as a partnership. You grow together. You get to know each other's quirks. You get to know how you train. It's invaluable. You just have to stay together, and you will keep improving.
Thank you very much, Sinead Kerr, for that. Ashley Wagner, Brooke Castile. My moment was Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro just being so impressive this whole weekend, and also her faces. Don't change your immediate reactions, Kirsten. We love them.
She's great.
As Ashley knows, they're awesome.
She's great.
Let's see, we've got more skating, we've got more ice desk. Tonight, it's the men's free skate right here inside the Honda Center. We're gonna be with you on Ice Desk, on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. And if you're in the venue, you can join us, as always, outside section 208. Anaheim, you've been a great crowd.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. Give yourself some love. Awesome, and we will be with you tonight on Bridgestone Ice Desk. For now, it's bye-bye.